It's late Monday night. We have a lot, all caps, underline it, bold it if you must, a lot to get to. And it's not just because I got all my usual film notes. We're talking offense, defense, and coaching, play calling, personnel breakdowns, everything you want to know from the Patriots last game. Something we haven't done here in 2 weeks because they had a bye. It's because after the Patriots lose 30-17 in Arizona, game not as close as the score indicated because they were down twice. Twice they were down by 20 in that fourth quarter. It's because that football game became secondary to Jerod Mayo's postgame press conference very quickly in a way that's frankly not new for these Patriots. And to all of the ensuing discussions, the podcasts, and the TV shows, and the radio, and maybe you just sitting at home with your thoughts in a private moment, all lead back to Mayo and wonder, could he actually lose his job? And for the first time this year, I'd say maybe, yeah. And this isn't about losing, right? Like the Patriots are 3-11. They're exactly where they should be, given the roster talent. Their plan is a rebuilding program, okay? It's about how they got here. It's about regressing actively over the second half of the season. It's about a team coming out of a bye with 5 straight practices to hone in on their fundamentals. The same answer you get from Mayo, the offensive coaches, the defensive coaches. Why aren't things going better? Fundamentals. Okay, drill them. You have 5 practices. Go into Arizona and then have one of the worst fundamental performances I've seen from them all season. It's about one of the most penalized teams in the NFL. It's about one of the worst first quarter teams in the NFL, which speaks to game planning and preparation. And it's about a coach who presides over all of this and then has the audacity in his post-game press conference, 3 minutes after telling all the reporters out there in Glendale how he preaches accountability to the team. Accountability is about action. 3 minutes after saying that, says in response to a question of whether the Patriots should have run Drake May at the goal line, where they got stuffed twice in the third quarter and basically lost the game then and there. He says, you said it, I didn't. Are you kidding me? You know how bad that is? I'll tell you right now. And this is not some media freak out or drama about whatever a coach said in a press conference. Something I've downplayed, frankly, most of the spring and summer and said I'm tired of talking about Mayo stinking with the media. It doesn't matter. The football matters. Well, right now this trumps the football because this is the reason why. That was so bad. Mayo throwing his offensive coordinator, Alex Van Pelt, under the bus. That Alex Van Pelt is now in the safest place possible under that bus because who's talking about him in one of the worst play calling performances we've seen from him all season? He got off scot-free because of how bad Mayo was with the media. You've heard nothing, nada, zip about AVP today until I just brought him up. Okay? And that's what it was. One of the worst play calling performances, which we'll get to and explain why here in a second. And if today, instead of listening to talk shows or whatever, you listen to Jerod Mayo, you, of course, heard him walk that comment back, telling reporters, quote, I didn't mean anything by that. Then later in WEI, it's, quote, I shouldn't have done that. Just like I tell the players, I'm still learning how those things work. No, you're not. Either you don't know or you don't care, but either way, it's a problem. And we're past the point of learning with the media. Forget that you had your own bye week to kick your feet up or practice or look at what you were going to do, okay? And I think he's gotten better with the media, but this was a low point. This was an issue. This was something his team, his staff heard loud and clear, okay? Not to mention, he's still giving excuses for what might be the league's worst defense. From Sunday, once again, we let up a big run play that really hurts us and really skews the rest of the stats. Okay, and again, I've told you time and again, spring, summer, fall, I'm tired of talking about Mayo's missteps. So let's play along with this for a second. Sure, if you remove James Conner's 53-yard run, the Cardinals go from allowing 5.1 yards, or the Cardinals go from averaging 5.1 yards per carry down to 3.6. Big win for the Patriots, okay? Here's one problem with Mayo's pathetic analysis of his own defense. That defense still got steamrolled over back-to-back touchdown drives in the fourth quarter that ended the game. Just like the JV Dolphins did to them in week 5, just like the Colts did to them right before the bye. Oh, and by the way, Arizona still converted 69% of all of its third and fourth downs whenever it rushed. And it picked up a first down, regardless of down distance situation, a third of the time. Whenever someone just ran with the ball, they got what they wanted 33% of the time. So the bottom line is Mayo's defense is a disaster no matter how many plays he wants to pick out. It ranked dead last by DVOA going into kickoff, and that isn't changing whenever you end up listening or watching to this Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, sometime this week. And talent is not the issue. Christian Barmore returned a month ago. Jerome Peppers is back. Hey, Christian Gonzalez is locking down Martin Harrison Jr., giving up 1 catch and having 3 pass breakups. Okay? The issue is coaching. The issues are those fundamentals that they keep preaching about and talking about, but don't actually fix. Okay? Which makes Jerod Mayo, whether it's with the media or behind the scenes, an error repeater. And if you want to know why the Patriots are not only repeating errors on the field, but also don't seem to be taking losing quite as hard, as I reported and others did down in Miami, it's because their head coach isn't. There he was on WEI, yucking it up, laughing, joking, busting balls Monday morning after getting in at 4 a.m. and losing 30-17 in a game that really should have been 30-10. And there's no crime in smiling. Okay, be human. That's what we want. That's what we all should be rooting for. You've heard me say it time and time again. Honesty is what media and fans should be rooting for. But what message does yucking it up with some people on the radio send to your players, to your coaches who have to come in and run and lift and do film? But not me, because the Patriots, of course, canceled their team meeting after one of their worst losses this season, which is saying something, after a bye and then going into a player's off day. Another great message there. What does it say when you do all of that? What it says is the meeting doesn't matter and the losses aren't that bad. Well, here's a message that a captain, one of the longest tenured captains you have on this team, said last week. Dietrich Wise, I asked him straight up, what are these last 4 games about before they go to Arizona? He said, if we finish strong, it says our hard work matters. This can work. This program, these players, these coaches, the culture, it can work. Well, right now, between Mayo's messaging and their play and their coaching, it says the exact opposite. And they have 2 games left against the future league MVP and then another game against one of the best coached teams in the NFL. How do you think that's going to go for the New England Patriots and Jerod Mayo? Sincerely, what do you think? Because if you said badly, just remember, you said it, and I didn't.